I feel good. I feel generally like quite good right now.
I feel really good also.
Great.
It's the morning and I feel great about it.
Today I'm feeling pretty good, pretty pumped. I've been running around a lot, but we're here.
I'm good today, and I was thinking that it's probably the first time in a long time that I've been able to just say that and feel good today, so.
Am I going to lose this game of Jenga?
Big gamble, okay. Man.
Do you want to go first?
Okay, I'm gonna go here.
The pressure of the first
one. Oh my god.
I think it's directly related with how safe I feel in a particular space. I think building a trusting relationship is directly correlated to how safe I feel expressing about my mental health.
It's something that I just don't think about anymore, I just do it. And I think that just comes from years of putting myself out a little bit more and being vulnerable with people.
I think I'm quite open, but I think people are really surprised when I tell them I have gone to therapy or like that I'm on medication. They're like, what? You? I guess I exude a warmth or a confidence or a happiness when you meet me face to face that people are really confused by it. So probably don't like open up to randoms as much.
Sometimes I feel guilty for talking about my mental health if it's not good, because I know that my friends and like the people who love me really care about me and it worries them. And I think that's the part where I'm like, it's not that I wouldn't talk about it, it's that I don't want to upset the people that I love.
One thing that like not many people know about me is I feel like I give off this really positive vibe when I meet new people. Like I'm at work, they're like, oh, you're just like so positive. But you know, I'm very good at hiding my feelings.
I think that we've got to the point where it's okay for you to seek help, and you know, that's not shameful, but I still think there's a stigma around talking about mental health to other people and not feeling like a burden.
If you are at a point where getting help is the hardest thing you can actually do right now, that's like, nobody really talks about that.
And I think there's definitely still a stigma around, oh, it's okay to go get help, but then, you know, that's going to fix you. And I don't think that that's what mental health is. It's a journey. It's long term. Often when you're going through that journey, you have days and months where you just don't want to do it.
Hey, bro. Oh, yes. That was really nice. Hey, baby, bro. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm so sorry I'm late.
The expectation of people in the music industry is for them to not have any mental health issues, like what you're talking about, which is to have a brave face and be excited all the time and be charismatic and in front of the camera.
Like, yes, it's like a big thing to talk about in the music industry because we do it all the time, but it's also the only industry where it's commodified as well, which is like, yeah, so I wonder, I would say there's no stigma around talking about it, but I wonder if like the ways it's dealt with are the most productive.
If I told many people, yeah, I'm struggling with this, the default response is, oh, write something about it. Write a song about it. It's like,
slap a band-aid on it, write a song.
like what?
Do you ever find it hard to separate? Do you ever find it hard to separate? Separate what? Yeah. Oh, here we go. No, there is more. I was like, whoa, this is deep. How do you balance your art with who you are as a person? And do you ever find it hard to separate?
No.
There we go.
Oh, I think it's difficult. I think a lot of ease and peace comes with me just like connecting my brand and my person as one and coming across as authentic, because my brand is a lot more me than some, you know, alternate persona that I've just chosen and pretending to be and try on. Yeah. Although I do that, I do step into a performance person, but it's still me. It's still me.
I think for me, it's like separating my self-worth from my success. I totally and completely base my self-esteem and my self-worth on how my career is going.
When I start to feel really trapped or I'm losing perspective by thinking about who I am as an artist too much, then I like to step into a different role, like a producer or a songwriter, I just need to step out of the Lola Scott world sometime.
I find it very difficult because I think every single one of us, every human has so many different qualities and moods and vibes, if you will, so many different types of demeanours that they hold in any given space. And I think because of that, artists often find it very difficult, at least from speaking to people, to figure out what they want their sound to be, which to me kind of means, who do I want to express as me? What do I want to express as me? At least for me personally, I feel like I'm constantly torn between the cheeky charisma of like making something that's fun and boppy and whatever, and then the reality that I feel like a very melancholic person and I like making sincere, deep music. Which one of my multiple identities I feel like I want to be the me art?
I had a massive battle with feeling like an imposter for a while, like because I was using my own name, but I felt like it wasn't representing who I am to the level that I kind of knew myself, and like the world wasn't seeing who I really was because they were only seeing like this much of me. With my therapist, we kind of clarified that it's okay to have some things just for you, and sometimes that's okay. Like if you keep those things sacred to you, you don't have to share everything with the world. But at the same time, sharing a little bit of that vulnerability and that like little bit of you that makes you is like what other people will connect with, and also just allows other artists to do the same thing.
I wouldn't be able to share what I share and have the stories that I have if it weren't for what I've been through.
I think having a voice to share something like that is, such an important thing. And it's nice when you get people who come to your shows and they really like deeply feel what you're writing about because they can see it in their own life.
It's been so therapeutic to write, but also to have people feel seen in something that you've written. And that's why like people writing about their struggles, but also how they've overcome things and just the day-to-day being more honest and candid, I think it just positively impacts everyone.
I very much admire that you're one of the best people I've seen work a crowd. Plus, your rhythm and feel is beautiful, especially in your vocal delivery. And as a producer, it is a joy to work with.
Thanks, man.
Joey, watching you operate live, watching you tap dance on pedals and a whole symphony coming out of the speakers is one of the most fucked up things I've ever seen in my life. Seriously.
You say like, oh, if it doesn't do well, it's fine. At least I got to express myself and share my art. But there's also a point where it's like, but I actually want this to do really well, and if it doesn't do well, it's actually going to be quite crushing.
Yeah, we all say it, don't we? We all go, we know it doesn't matter. What are you doing?
Yeah, and then it gets to the moment right before the release.
Oh, it does matter.
How do you cope with days that are overwhelming, frustrating, and tough?
I meditate when I feel horrible, and that often changes my state completely.
In the past, I used to just think I had to deal with things on my own. And now I've realized that sometimes I just need to allow myself to feel whatever the emotion is and just let it wash through me. Emotions are like tunnels, you just move through them. And lean on my support network. Sometimes like you don't realize how isolated you are until you kind of like see people again, and then you're like, oh, that's why I felt so like on my own. Like I felt like I was the only one. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, it's okay. Everything's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My love language is touch. I just need to like feel people.
Yeah.
I love it.
Find or try to stick onto something that gives you a bit of hope. And that might be it might seem so small. It might be something you're looking forward to just the next day, or like making yourself a cup of coffee. I remember in lockdown, there were some times where I really struggled, but I was so excited to drink my coffee on the balcony. So I tried to focus on that and go, that's great.
I mentioned before that I've had a really, really, really severe history with eating disorders. And I think for me, even if I wasn't writing music, I'd listen to music, and it was something about it that just made me feel like there was hope.
Yeah, on like the bad days, I'm just like, I need to write. I need to write. Yeah, I can't explain it verbally. It's just, yeah, like you said, it's just hard to say it to someone being like, this is how I feel.
I think music comes in as well because it reflects back what I'm feeling sometimes, and that's how I connect to music and people as well, especially live shows, because it's just like they're singing a song from a place that it came from, which I can probably relate to and may have been there before. So it's like, whoa, I see myself.
And listening to other people's stories and connecting with them through a song, and you don't even know this person, they could be on the other side of the world. I think that music is so special and unique in that way that people can have shared experiences and not even know each other.
For me, I close off and I go into a shell and I isolate myself when I'm not doing well. And the ways I have felt really supported are the friends that stick by you and check in, even if you're not replying. That is something I'm so bad at. But the ones that stayed, and when I came back and reached out, they were like, I knew you would when you were ready. Those friends I'm so grateful for, and I know that they're my close ones because they understand that it's not a personal thing. So for those who don't understand mental health, I would just say making someone feel like you're a safe person to go to, so not showing judgment when they tell you stuff that is actually really hard and dark. Obviously, have your boundaries and know where your capacity is. But if they feel comfortable that they can be honest and you're not going to just go, oh, I'm so sorry, and just like this fake pity that is not helpful. Yeah, and asking them what would help, I feel like that goes a long way. Some people just assume that it's always just give them some advice or do what you think is textbook, but for everyone it's so different and specific, so asking never hurts. Yeah.
I think it's so important to talk about mental health openly. So yeah, thank you for doing that.
Thanks for coming. No, thank you. I do hope that this is just the beginning of people talking more about it. We have so many spaces to share about music, but just being able to create a safe space where people feel comfortable to share, I hope that this is the start of more conversations.
I came here today because actually I've been struggling to speak out about mental health, about my mental health, my state of being. And I'm trying to open my heart more and be honest and lean into newer connections and just I want to practice that more. That's why I'm here. So thanks for hearing me.
I guess I just wanted to add my voice into the conversation as someone who does really struggle with mental health issues. And I've only recently started being a bit more open about it. I guess this was a challenge to me as well, to start talking about it more openly.
Hopefully in a year's time or 2 years' time, we won't have to have these kind of shine a spotlight on mental health moments. Change actually happens to the point where we don't have to have them anymore. I like to think of a place where we don't have to specifically set aside time to discuss the importance of mental health. People just accept it.
I think this is more important than the music itself. And I just know how it feels to overthink and to dwell and to just not reassure yourself that you're doing really good stuff.
And I wish that there was more out there about it when I was going through my hardest of times and didn't want to pick up an instrument and didn't feel like people wanted to hear from me.
It's nice to come together with, all these people and actually have these honest conversations. And because I think obviously it is scary, but the more that we talk about it, it becomes less of a thing. So
even if this gets to one person who kind of feels like they can be vulnerable with someone in their life if they haven't already, that's really important.
I have the ability to share my experiences, and if I can make one person feel less alone by being vulnerable myself, then I've done my job.
It's not